You may recall that Moses had married Zipporah when he fled Egypt, and that his father-in-law was the priest of Midian. But you may not remember that Moses had sent his wife and his 2 children back to Midian to stay with his father-in-law. We don't know why, but we do know that Zipporah had expressed resistance to Moses, who was simply trying to follow God on at least one other occasion. And perhaps Moses found that it was easier to lead if Zipporah wasn't there. In the 18th chapter of Exodus, we find that Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, has heard what God has been doing for Moses and the children of Israel, and brings Zipporah and Moses' 2 sons to visit. Moses' 2 sons were named Gershom and Eleazar. Gershom means, I have been an alien in a strange land, and Eleazar means, for the God of my father said he was mine help and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, came with Moses' 2 sons and Moses' wife unto Moses in the wilderness, camped at the mount of God, and sent word to Moses that I, thy father-in-law Jethro, am come unto thee with Zipporah, Gershom, and Eleazar. And Moses went out to meet his father-in-law, bowed, kissed him, asked each other how they were doing, and took him into his tent. And Moses told his father-in-law all that the Lord had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, all that they had been through, and how God had delivered them. Jethro was happy and said, Blessed be the Lord who hath delivered you. The Lord is greater than all gods. And Jethro offered God a sacrifice and shared bread with Aaron, Moses, and all the elders of Israel. The next morning Jethro watched Moses do his job, and he observed that the people came to him all day long to ask him for decisions, which they called judgments. He asked Moses about this, and when Moses explained what he was doing, Jethro said, This isn't good. You will wear yourself down trying to do all that by yourself. And we can certainly understand. This wasn't a small church of a few hundred people where the pastors could know them all and talk with them from time to time. Moses was leading about 1 million people. Jethro said, Let me give you some advice. Continue to talk with God and represent the people to him and tell them what he gives you to tell them. But teach the people the ordinances and laws, how they should walk, and the work that they should do, and put men over them, God-fearing, truthful men who won't be trying to steal their stuff. Here, set it up like this. Set up a hierarchy. Set up some men who will be over thousands. Set up men under them who will be over hundreds. Set up men under them who will be over 50s, and under them men who will be over 10s. Let them make the decisions. And if it's too big for them, then they can bring it to you. Moses decided to listen to Jethro and followed his advice and set the government up the way Jethro had advised him. Then, as if God had brought Jethro to help Moses with this issue, Jethro went back to his home.